What's up, Lions Nation? Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, your home for the latest breaking news, insider updates, and everything happening with our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm bringing you the kind of content that keeps you ahead of the curve, the stories that matter, and the analysis you won't find anywhere else. And trust me, what I'm about to share with you today is something that's been circulating in NFL circles, something that could reshape how we think about our backfield moving forward. You know that feeling when you're watching the game and everything just clicks? When our running game is absolutely unstoppable, when defenses can't figure out how to contain what we're throwing at them. That's been our reality for the past couple of seasons. We've built something special here in Detroit, something that opposing coordinators lose sleep over. But here's the thing about this league. Nothing stays the same forever. Change is the only constant, and sometimes the decisions that seem impossible today become the reality of tomorrow. I need you to stay with me on this one, because we're going to dive deep into something that might sound crazy at first, but makes a whole lot of sense when you really break it down. We're talking about roster construction, we're talking about long-term strategy, we're talking about the kind of moves that championship organizations have to consider, even when it hurts. And yeah, this one might sting a little bit. Let me set the stage for you. Right now, the Detroit Lions have one of the most dynamic rushing attacks in the entire NFL. We're not just talking about production, we're talking about versatility. We're talking about a two-headed monster that keeps defenses honest every single snap. We made history, and I mean actual NFL history, with what we've accomplished in our backfield. First time ever that two running backs on the same team both eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark in a single season. That's not just impressive, that's legendary. But success in this league comes with complications. When you have multiple elite talents at the same position, eventually you have to make some tough calls. The salary cap doesn't care about your feelings, and front offices have to think 3, 4, 5 years down the line. That's where we find ourselves right now, at a crossroads that nobody wants to acknowledge, but everyone knows is coming. According to recent reports from Bleacher Report, there's been some serious discussion about the future composition of our roster. And one name keeps coming up in these conversations, a name that's been absolutely instrumental to our success, a player who came over from our biggest rival and immediately proved why he was worth every penny. I'm talking about a veteran presence, a guy who knows how to find the end zone, someone who's been the heartbeat of our ground attack since day one. David Montgomery, number 5. The guy who left Chicago and came to Detroit with something to prove. And prove it he did. When he signed with us back in 2023, there were questions about whether he could be the lead back we needed, whether he could carry the load in a division as physical as the NFC North. Those questions got answered real quick. Montgomery became our workhorse, our closer, the guy we handed the ball to when we absolutely had to have yards. But then something interesting happened. We drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, and suddenly we had two completely different styles that complemented each other perfectly. Montgomery with his power, his ability to run through tackles, his nose for the goal line. Gibbs with his speed, his elusiveness, his home run capability. Together they formed something special, something that made our offense virtually impossible to game plan against. Now here's where things get complicated, and this is what I need you to really focus on. In the NFL, you can't keep everyone forever. Contracts expire, cap space gets tight, and difficult decisions have to be made. Montgomery is going to be looking for a new deal eventually, and so is Gibbs. The organization is going to have to decide which direction they want to go, who fits the long-term vision, who gets the extension that keeps them in Honolulu blue for years to come. And here's the reality that nobody wants to talk about. If it comes down to choosing between Montgomery and Gibbs, the Lions are probably going to lean toward the younger player. Gibbs is still on his rookie contract. He's got fresh legs. He's got that explosive element that you can't teach. Don't get me wrong, I love what Montgomery brings to this team, but organizations have to think about the future, and age is an undefeated opponent in this league. So what does this mean? Well, according to the report, Montgomery could potentially be viewed as a trade chip after the 2025 season. Now, I know what you're thinking. Trade one of our best players? Are we crazy? Have we lost our minds? But hear me out, because this actually makes sense from a strategic standpoint. First of all, this isn't happening tomorrow. We're talking about after the 2025 season, which means we still have Montgomery for at least one more full year of production. We're not gutting the roster mid-playoff push. We're not making panic moves. We're talking about calculated, forward-thinking roster management. Second, and this is crucial, the Lions would only consider this move if the return was substantial. We're not trading Montgomery for a fifth-round pick and a bag of footballs. We're talking about getting a starting-caliber cornerback in return, which is a position where we've been absolutely decimated by injuries this season. Our secondary has been held together with duct tape and prayers, and adding an elite corner could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. Plus, if the right team came calling, we could potentially land a first-round pick in the deal. Think about what that means for our future. Think about the kind of talent you can add with a first-rounder, the kind of player who could contribute for the next decade. That's not something you dismiss out of hand. Now, I want to be crystal clear about something. This is all hypothetical right now. Montgomery hasn't been in any actual trade rumors since joining the Lions. There's no indication that the front office is actively shopping him or that he's asked for a trade. This is purely analytical, looking at the landscape of our roster and trying to project what might happen down the line. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. That doesn't mean we shouldn't prepare ourselves for the possibility. Because if there's one thing we've learned about this new era of Lions football, it's that our front office isn't afraid to make bold moves. They're not sentimental. They're strategic. They're building something sustainable, something that can compete for championships year after year. And here's the optimistic way to look at this. If the Lions do eventually move on from Montgomery, it means they have complete confidence in Gibbs as a feature back. It means they believe in their ability to find complementary pieces in the draft or free agency. It means they're thinking like a championship organization, making the tough calls that keep you competitive for the long haul. Montgomery would have no shortage of suitors if he hit the trade market. Teams are always looking for proven running backs who can contribute immediately, especially contenders who need that final piece to put them over the top. He's shown he can be a number one back. He's shown he can produce in a committee. He's shown he can pass, protect, and catch out of the backfield. That's a complete skill set that would be valuable to probably half the teams in the league. For us as fans, it would be tough to see him go. He came to Detroit and embraced this city, embraced this team, embraced the culture we're building. He's been nothing but professional, nothing but productive, nothing but a leader in that locker room. But sometimes in this business, doing the right thing for the organization means making moves that hurt in the short term but pay dividends down the road. The key for the Lions is maximizing value while also maintaining competitiveness. If they can get a cornerback who can lock down opposing number one receivers, if they can add another first-round pick to continue building this roster, then maybe, just maybe, it's a move worth considering. Not because Montgomery isn't great, but because the return could be great enough to make the team better overall. So where does this leave us? Well, for now, we enjoy having one of the best running back duos in football. We appreciate what Montgomery brings every single Sunday. We root for both him and Gibbs to continue making history. But we also understand that change is inevitable in this league, and the Lions are building something special that requires tough decisions. I want to hear from you, Lions Nation. How would you feel if the team actually pulled the trigger on a Montgomery trade after next season? Do you think it's the right move for the long-term future of this franchise? Would you be willing to part with a fan favorite if it meant addressing our needs in the secondary and adding more draft capital? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is the kind of conversation that matters Before I let you go, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, because I'm bringing you the latest news, the deepest analysis, and the insider information you need to stay connected to your Detroit Lions. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it valuable, and share it with your fellow Lions fans who need to be part of this conversation. This is the kind of content you'll only find right here, the kind of analysis that goes beyond the surface level and really examines what's happening with our team. Stay locked in, stay engaged, and let's continue this journey together as we watch the Lions build something truly special. Until next time, one pride, Lions. Nation,